His face is kind of flat. The name's Tortimer. Barker Tortimer. Custom music? Oh my goodness, seriously? That's a Steam? Yeah, instrumental version of Team America. Sure. He's 55, really? The detective in charge of the case seems to be rather enthusiastic about America. And I'm a true American hero, a dashing detective, a king of justice. The lone cowboy riding into the sunset after justice is served. The dashing prince of this side of our great nation. Winner of this year's annual hair contest. As you can tell, all the ladies want me and all the men want to be me. So remember the name, evildoers. The Barker boy is on your tail. Okay? Yeah, alright, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not sure why you found the need to shout necessary, detective. I assure you, you already had the court's attention. Lame, bro. You totally ignored my introduction. Your uncoolness cut straight into my heart. And what on earth gave you that idea? My hearing is perfectly fine, mind you. Worry not, your introduction was perfectly fine. You certainly said your name and occupation well. However, the court's interest, I'm afraid, lies in your testimony, Mr. Mortimer. Hey now, no need to ask. The Barksters got you covered. Fair warning though, this is gonna be the ginchiest testimony you've ever heard. Hold on to your wives, gentlemen, because Detective Barker's testimony is gonna rock your socks! To be honest, I would have preferred Gumshoe, but this is fine. Old Barker's never barked up the wrong tree in his life, and that morning a storm was brewing. Okay, it's an I keep listening to the music, and right now there's an instrumental, or no, rather, orchestral version of the testimony theme going on. Kinda neat. Chief called him in. Barker, there's a case I need you to handle. I need you to get back in the game. Perp was a small-time crook called Phoenix. Nicky Wright. He was found snoozing at the scene. Strangled a dude and bashed him in the head. He was one sick, twisted puppy. But with the power of America and justice on our side, we threw the nut in the slammer. America! Well, that was certainly a unique testimony. Still, it got the job done. But, edgy baby, cutting the theatrics would be like cutting my precious locks. It's just not cool, Daddy-O. Gotta keep my fresh vibes on the 411, you dig? Objection! That's Maya's objection, but yeah, it fits, considering June is basically a Maya recolor. That's the last straw, I've gotta ask. Your Honor, the defense requests an interpreter for the detective. Because I don't speak whatever language he's speaking. Was that a burn on the bark dog? Uncool, lady bro. My lingo is totally groovy, baby. The court sides with the defense. Oh wow, that's a first. Mr. Edgeworth, since you called a detective, I expect you to serve as their translator. Your Honor, I'm not sure what's there not to understand. You either translate or I have the detective's nonsense stricken from the record. Well, if you don't understand it, what makes you think I do? Well, I don't see how you have a case if you don't understand him either. Are you being serious right now? You're just pulling a few screws on old Pinky Bro here, right? Deadly serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Very well, Your Honor. I will translate to the best of my ability. I see how it is. Alright, if that's how you roll, that's how you roll, I guess. Are we going to get this show on the road? Because I'm mucho down for that. Let's begin the cross-examination. Well, Barker's never barked up the wrong tree in his life, and that morning a storm was brewing. Press. Mr. Edgeworth, is the detective speaking in third person about himself? He is, indeed. I see, I see. And why is that, Mr. Edgeworth? How does it relate to the case? Wow, I still don't have any evidence besides my badge. I guess I'll get the autopsy report eventually. What secrets does it hold? I cannot say. And why is that, Mr. Edgeworth? Why is it that you cannot explain this clearly crucial fact that the detective speaks in third person? Are you suggesting that you cannot explain the facts of your own case? Don't worry, Pinkie Pie, I got you covered. I'd rather you didn't. I was talking to the Missy. My response is the same. I'd rather you didn't cover the defense in anything, detective.
Hold it!
The reasons for the detective speaking in third person are irrelevant, Your Honor. I would like to ask the defense not to distract from the issue at hand. The only distracting thing here is your witness. Okay, this new thing. Press. In English, please? Missy, you're saying that I don't have the great language of America down is getting downright insulting. America isn't the only country that speaks English, you know. Oh, you're good. Ha! You're a riot. Your lingo isn't even consistent. You say something, Mr. Prosecutor? Look, the gist of what the detective said is this. I was given the case by the chief of police after a long hiatus. Does that explanation satisfy you, Mr. Rye? Yeah. Am I seriously spacing out so bad that I can't remember what hiatus means? I have to focus. Now is not the time to get distracted. Got it, brain? This probably isn't how I imagined things would go, but that's usually how things are. Come on, come on. You're a lawyer, 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 lawyer. You seem distressed, Mr. Rye. Miss Rye. Mr. Rye. Well, you seem tired, but you don't see me bringing it up. Ooh, snap! We got a frisky one here, it seems. Sorry. Proceed, sir. I just realized I never even remembered his name. How am I sucking this bad? Alright, I think this is where he starts talking about the actual crime. You say you found him snoozing. That might not be the wisest choice of words. When Mr. Wright was found on the scene, he was, in fact, fully conscious. He was, however, lying on the ground, giving the impression that he was not. And why would he do that? To corroborate... Big words, Edgeworth! To corroborate his ludicrous explanation of the events, I imagine. I don't think she'll buy it, Captain. So let me chip in here. This is the sit rep on Nikki's condition, the autopsy report. Haven't read it, but from what I've been told, he hasn't got a scratch on that pretty body of his. And when I say that, I just mean that he got a good body. Nothing else. Got it? So this report is the defendant's medical report. Done almost immediately upon his arrest. There are no external injuries on his body, and there were no toxins found in his system. I would like to yet again stress that he was also found conscious at the scene. As such, any possible claim that he was knocked unconscious or attacked by someone else is beyond preposterous. The court shall accept this report into evidence. Wright's medical report. So... okay, we'll bring that up later, maybe. Now, as to what Mr. Wright has done before he was found in the state he was found in... well... strangled you with that. I demand elaboration. Ask and you shall receive. Let us go point by point, shall we? The prosecution would first like to present Mr. White's autopsy report. Thank you. As you can see, the detective's statement stands true. He was indeed asphyxiated. You may ask, with what? To which there is a simple answer. Nicky's very own belt. We found it tightly wrapped around the poor sap's neck. Fingerprints confirm it belonged to him, and he even admitted as such himself, or as much himself. What? Nobody said anything about that. But it gets better. As the report might suggest, Mr. White suffered head trauma post-mortem. This is due to the fact that your client hit it against the cell steel bed. And why on earth would he have done that if White was already dead? That is where it gets a bit grotesque, I'm afraid. Mr. White took some of Mr. White's blood and smeared it against the back of his own head. What? That's monstrous! Why would he do such a thing? We believe it was done to give the impression that he had suffered an injury of some sort. And why would he do that? To make it appear as if someone else had been on the scene, obviously. But that's stupid! Why didn't he just hit himself with something? The idea came from the same rational mind that decided to kill a man in a highly secured prison. You may not wish to believe me, but the evidence is there. The blood was found literally on his hands. And if that's not enough for you, here. It's a pic of the crime scene. Took it myself. I kinda got in a shot, but you should consider that a plus. Body's gone, but we already told you what was up with him. You mean aside from the fact he's dead? Is this custom? I think it kind of looked custom. All of this seems to be pretty damning evidence. Heh, I know, right? And it isn't getting any better. Half of this stuff the papers didn't even cover. This just went from bad to horrible. Yeah, got a bunch of new evidence here. Got the belt, the crime scene photo, and Wright's medical report. Right, appears to have suffered. Time of death 9:15 to 9:35. Cause of death asphyxiation, and note wound on the back of the head caused post-mortem. I'll move on. I'll check the evidence later when it comes up. I did not think this through at all. Too late to run now, though. Can we move on? Alright then. This is essentially the prosecution's entire case. According to them, he scheduled a meeting with White in his cell and killed him. Specifically, with his belt, which was found around White's neck. After which, he hit White's head against the bed and put White's blood on the back of his own head. This was apparently done to appear as if he was knocked out. After this, he lied down and pretended to be unconscious. Which in actuality, according to this report at least, he wasn't. Pretty much proving that what he told me was a complete lie. How am I supposed to defend him if he's clearly lying to me? What I still don't understand is why he's lying to begin with. Nothing he's done or said so far is making any sense. And I'm really starting to think that I could add murder to the list of those things. But I can't. I won't. Well, from what I've managed to understand, this testimony alone seems pretty decisive. You say that like you doubted it. Well, if he did, he has to again, and soon. You seem eager to add something, Miss Fry. I do. Detective, you said a lot of stuff, but the thing is, if we are to go by your story, then my client is completely insane. Your point? No, I mean, his actions are completely illogical. First off, you say that he wanted to make it look like he was knocked out. That someone else had done the crime. But given the circumstances, nobody would have assumed that. I mean, think about it. His belt was still found around the victim's neck. And sure, while he might have appeared to have been hurt, the ruse would have been discovered in, well, 2 seconds, which it was according to you. It doesn't add up. No rational mind would have done something like that. It sounds to me like you're making an insanity plea. No, I'm making a plea for common sense. My client is not insane. Nothing that scene, or anyone else for that matter, suggests that. And yet, according to you, he did things which are completely illogical. If he was really guilty, how come he didn't just take his belt and leave? At least then, his chances of being caught red-handed would have been lower. Probably not by a whole lot, but still. It would have been more reasonable than to do what you claim he did. Why were your hands moving up and down like that, June? Objection! Probably just a graphical glitch from the Ace Attorney Online website. And yet, this is precisely what he did. Says you, but there are other far more sensible explanations here. Such as... Well, isn't it obvious? Oh wow, I have choices here, or just two choices. Somebody else could have been there, and a Canadian man singing the theme song of a magical girl in the anime, assisted by Canadian Batman, is behind this. So two choices. No, but I want to try the second choice. Why did you just click that answer? Not good enough. What? Do you think this is some kind of a joke? Do you not want to win? Don't you get that this is a super serious game with lawyers in debt and anime hair? Honestly, what did you expect would happen? Some sort of... Ha 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 ha! Calling me out, huh? Well, why did you put that choice there in the first place? Did you think that this was made by crazy people who put complex coding for no reason? Utter hogwash! The joke answer wasn't even funny. In-jokes and absurd nonsense aren't funny. Why on earth did you think you'd be rewarded for this utter buffoonery? In fact, I'd say you deserve to be thoroughly punished for your tomfoolery instead. I probably should have saved before making that choice. Repeat after me. Joke answers aren't funny. I will never click on them again. Oh, I have a parser. Wrong! Do it again from the start. Repeat after me. Okay, so I have to write exactly what he's saying right here. Well then, I suppose that will satisfy me for now. Very well then. Go on with your game. Just don't do that again. So, I saved. Let's see what happens if I click it again. Okay, so it just repeats. I thought there would be something else, but no, it just repeats. Anyway, let's move on. Somebody else could have been there. I mean, there's nothing to say otherwise. Actually, it would explain a lot. After all, my client did say he saw someone at the scene. The defense argues that there was a third party present at the scene. Ridiculous. That's putting aside the obvious convenience. After all, didn't your client also claim that he was knocked out by this assailant? A claim which, need I remind you, was just proven to be a lie beyond any doubt? That's not a fair argument. That claim's validity has no bearing on the validity of the current claim. That's such a weird word, validity. Heh, I actually sounded like one of those fancy TV lawyers for a second there. What are you trying to pull there, June? Are you not real? I think. In any case, unless you have evidence disproving that there was a third party at the scene, the court should at least consider the possibility. Is that so? Well, in that case, he's got everything ready. I suppose I'll just have to provide exactly that. The prosecution has evidence disproving the existence of a third party. Evidence. That's a funny way to call him. Oh, it's a witness. Detective, for the last time, it is an inanimate object. It's that kind of spiel that'll get him to revolt one day, you know. Sorry, I don't know what you're referring to. What's the evidence? It seems to me like you don't know quite a lot about this case for someone in your position. Rookie or not, I really don't see an excuse for that. Oh, give me a break. Nobody's perfect. In any case, it's quite simple. No, it ain't. Detective, I'd appreciate it if you kept your opinions to yourself. I'm just calling it like it is. As a true American should. Plus, isn't that kind of what I'm here for? You are here to state the facts. Right. In fact is that thingamajig out there is absolutely nuts. Taking jobs from hard-working Americans. Okay, seriously, what are you talking about? Is it an immigrant? No, it can't be an immigrant. It's an inanimate... Oh, a robot! That must be what he was talking about. How does anything you just said have anything to do with a piece of evidence? As I said, it's quite simple. And as I said, no it ain't. Will you just make up your mind? Thank you, detective. That will be quite enough from you. It is simple when shown. And for that to be possible, the prosecution shall call its next witness. A robot. The guard Mr. Wright had to pass by in order to get to the victim's cell. I don't understand. Why can't you just show it? Is it the Blue Badger, or Blue Badger robot? That'd be kind of funny. What's all this fuss about? The evidence can only be presented once the guard is on the stand. This isn't going to be simple at all, is it? You've been warned, baby. It shall all come clear once the witness is on the stand, I assure you. And so, with that, the prosecution calls... Who? I apologize. I think my sight is failing me. Either that, or I've forgotten to take my medication. Chances are that neither is the case, Your Honor. No. Way. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. It's a robot. No way. Yeah, see, it's a robot. It's... I was kind of hoping for a Blue Badger, but... Isaac. My name is Intelligence, Surveillance, and Assistance Computer. Please call me Isaac. Isaac. In French, it sounds like Isaac, you know? That's why I would say it that way. But in English, it's probably Isaac. My duty is to serve, and my serving is to guard, and my guarding is to protect. Duty equals serve equal guard equal protect. Duty equal protect. QED. My goal is to protect. This is the witness? Please. No need to shout. But yes, this machine will prove the defendant's guilt beyond a shadow of a doubt. Affirmative. I shall integrate the lines of code pertaining to X's guilt past the calculated outcome. Alt, the defendant's posterior is paspalum notatum. Colloquial ass's grass. Is this thing even fit to testify on the stand? Highly affirmative. I am pre-programmed with all data pertaining to the situation. A witness may not harm the judge. A witness must obey the judge's orders. A witness must protect themselves unless doing so would conflict the law or their testimony. And then there's the sacred zeroth law. Ooh, I think I know this one. A witness may not harm the court or by inaction allow the court to come to harm. That is incorrect. A witness may not bribe the judges or be used to bribe the judges. That's a funny rule. I mean, I doubt that any self-respecting judge would take a bribe. Or that anyone would be so blatant in their judge bribery. Am I the only one who finds this entire situation ridiculous? Yeah, considering you guys called me out for making that choice a while ago, this is way too... This is not serious at all. That's simply because you weren't properly informed or prepared for this to occur. I assure you, this entire situation follows perfectly logically from my point of view. Just think of the witness as any other witness and it'll be over soon enough. I'll try my best. I mean, no matter what you might say, there's still the parrot. No matter. Witness, please give us your testimony. There was a real life situation like that where people were considering actually cross-examining the parrot. It was in the news, but whatever. Y'all can check it out. I don't know much about it, but it was funny to see that in real life. You know, request noted. Preparing to dispense item. Feed all testimony. The machine that won the trial. The suspect, variable Phoenix Wright, arrived on the night of the murder. Fact. Suspect signed himself into the visitor's log. Fact. Evidence. Variable Phoenix Wright was the only visitor who had come to see the victim in a long time. Fact. Afterwards, I was scheduled to patrol the prison. I found the suspect just out of sight. Fact. Even if no security camera exists overlooking cell, all must pass me. My eyes do more than see. Fact. Possibility of anything entering without getting past me, 1 to 99. 1 to 999. Impossible, equal high. Fact. Fact times 6. Percentage, 100%. Testimony equal fact. Logic is logic. I am truth. I am fact. That's it. That robot definitely has a few screws loose. Can we actually trust this kind of testimony? What if his wiring just got screwed up or something? Objection! The witness was examined on several occasions, and all of them established that they are in perfect condition. So essentially, Isaac saw nobody but Mr. Wright pass by him on the night of the murder? Affirmative. Couldn't someone have snuck past you when you weren't paying attention? Negative. Isaac always pays attention. Attention is paid by Isaac at all times for the purposes of the visitors list. Okay, geez. The prosecution would like to present the visitors list in question. It contains the name of every person that entered the victim's entire cell block. And it's the one Mr. Wright signed into himself. And as you will see, there's no doubt about it. Wright was the only visitor that night. New evidence. The visitors list that entrance must personally sign into when entering the cell block, the entrance to which is guarded by Isaac. On the night of the murder, the only person that signed in was Phoenix Wright. Well, what if the third party didn't sign in? What about that, huh? I feel like saying not good would be an understatement at this point. Also, I'm finding it a bit questionable how you're able to perfectly understand this witness, and yet you treated the detective as if he was speaking Chinese. You mean he wasn't? I am now beyond convinced you are pulling my leg. Just get on with it. And please, Miss Rye, do not test my patience. The witness is a robot. Accept or don't, this is his testimony. Right. Right. Just stayed at home. Okay, so gotta press everything a bit. And you're sure it was Phoenix Wright? Objection! And pray tell, who else could it have possibly been? Isaac here is equipped with only the highest grade facial recognition software. Well, there was that case in the past where the defendant was impersonated by that orange guy. Or maybe the killer had a mask of the defendant that looks exactly like his face. Or maybe it was just a pigeon and our robot sensors are glitching out. Error, protocol, U50D... I can't say everything this witness says. Sorry about that. All systems are running fine. Offense has been taken. Really, Miss Wright, even as a joke, those were completely ridiculous. You can't just throw out nonsense involving filthy, disease-covered birds. Really now. In addition, with the current safety protocols, all intruding birds are shot on sight. Somehow I feel like we're getting off track here. Oh yeah, because it's Phoenix Wright. Thought it was a phoenix. Yeah, now I get it. You mean he personally put his signature onto the list? Miss Rye, I can hardly see a different interpretation for what the witness said. And this list was in your possession the entire time? Affirmative. The suspect was the only one who had signed on day 534, murder day. This also proves that... And you're sure of this?
Objection!
The witness is a robot. Of course they're sure. Well, I was just, you know, checking their memory. Again! The witness is a robot. They have no memory. Actually, they do, technically speaking. Incorrect. I have a perfectly functioning memory. See? What did I tell you? You really shouldn't underestimate the robot kind, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I will now proceed to check my memory. Searching RAM, searching RAM. This might have a secret message right here. Some of you might figure it out if you want. Scan complete. I have checked my RAM and the data stored. Would you like a report? RAM? Data? I more meant checking whether you had remembered. Storage, 50% video files, 5% audio files, 2% game files, 43% free space. That's not how it works. Usually, it's, like, there should not be 43% free space. It should be like 40%. There's always an extra amount of percentage space that is, like, secretly being used at all times or something. Correct. Every Isaac is equipped with a copy of Pong. 2% space is used by Pong? I suppose even robots need something to tide them over during the quiet nights. However, current discussion equal irrelevant. In addition to only signing in variable Phoenix Wright upon his arrival, he was also the only person that had scheduled to meet with the victim in quite some time. In other words, there was nothing suggesting that anyone had even an interest in visiting White. That is correct. This just keeps getting better and better. And when did the defendant schedule this meeting? A few days before the murder itself. Naturally, the victim was notified of this as well. Well, that's a given, isn't it? Please continue, witness. Oh, Isaac's profile was added. He's 4 years old. His gender is robot. Isaac or intelligence. Okay, nothing all that interesting. What exactly do you mean by just out of sight? I was patrolling the hallways. The defendant was inside a cell with the victim. Ergo, I had to go around a wall and enter a cell to find them. So basically, just out of sight means exactly what it says. X equal X. True. This is logically proven and thus is so. Sometimes things are exactly what they sound like. Well, what do you know? Let's check back the evidence. Okay, I don't know if you all see the picture right here, but the bars look a little bent. I assume that's going to be what I'm going to have to present evidence on, if I have to present evidence at all. Is that so? Well then, what else do they do? My eye also serves to contain my brain. Anything else? It also indicates my artificially created moods. Well, that much was obvious. Well, 1 to 999 is still more plausible than winning the lottery. That's true. How can you call that impossible? Allow me to rephrase. 1 to 999 is the chance of someone creating or finding another method of entry. Over a time period of 1,000,000 years! Oh, carry on then. Isn't that a little unfair to me and the defendant? I mean, I'm trying to my best over here. And then you just jump right here. And then you jump right into here with your logic and complex coding and wires and stuff. And make a mockery of my defending. To err is human. To logic is machine. Machines do not err. Error is human. Well, maybe humans aren't perfect at logic, but you know what? We do our best. And even if we aren't always super logical, we humans do a lot of good. I bet even aliens like and approve of a bunch of stuff humans do that isn't super logical. You're getting out of hand here, June. Robot will never trigger synapse receptors for no purpose. Humans will do action. There's no such thing as an action without a purpose. Everything we do is important in some way. Counterpoint. The existence of a human with zero purpose to exist. Proof? Proof equal Adam Sandler. Alright, you win this round. For now.